What is up, guys? Hey, it's been a little bit since I put together a video for you, so I was kind of racking my brain to come up with a topic, and here's what I came up with. I'm gonna do a video on first class mail, all right? And how to keep packages in that 16-ounce range so that you don't go over and go into priority mail, which is above 16 ounces. I'm gonna talk about a few things here. Some of it you're gonna know, it's like a no-brainer. And some of it you're gonna be like, oh wow, I didn't know that. So hopefully there is a portion of this video that is worth you guys watching, and I'm just gonna show you a few things that I do to keep things from not costing me a lot of money. All right, so tip number one, pick the appropriate size box. Seems like, you know, a little bit of a no-brainer, but there's a lot of us that have a lot of boxes on hand, especially, you know, free boxes. If you're the sort of person that is going by, I don't want to say dumpsters, but going behind buildings, that sort of thing, and you're grabbing boxes that are, you know, bigger and that sort of thing. It's better to keep boxes on hand that are smaller boxes and that are appropriate to the sizes and to the items that you would be doing first class mail with. So it doesn't help you in any shape or form to get a box this big if your item's this big, right? Because it's just charging you more. It's more in material, it's more in the dunnage or the padding that goes around the item. So it actually ends up costing you more money to use an inappropriate sized box. So what I would do, and this is one thing that I do, I buy boxes from local places here. I keep them on hand, and they're smaller sized boxes, right? So I keep several smaller sized boxes on hand, and I usually buy them from, you know, Uline or Paper Mart or you know, Boxery or, you know, places like that, right? And so I keep a lot of these small boxes on hand just pretty much for first class mail. So that's tip number one. Keep some appropriate size boxes on hand that are the smaller boxes, okay? Tip number two, if you do not have the appropriate size box, size down your boxes. And what you wanna do in sizing them down is maybe pick up a tool like this. All right, so this is called a box resizer. And this is what you can use to resize boxes that are too big. I'm going to show you how to use it here in a second, but essentially the way it works is this little knob twists here and it slides up and down on it, and you hook it on the side of the box. And let me slide it back down so you can see it a little bit better. So then you slide this on top of the box on the side here, and then you roll it along the edge of the box. And it has this little wagon wheel thing. I don't know if you can see that at all.
Let's see.
Yeah, a little wagon wheel thing right here. And this thing perforates the side of your box. So you just roll it along like this, and you can see it will perforate the side. And then it will make a nice perforation mark so that you can fold the box down and resize it nice and evenly, and it will look nice and professional. It's a good way to resize boxes down. I'll show you, let's see, am I gonna show you that? So I'll do a, let's see. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick video. How do I transition here, okay? Actually, you know what? I don't even need to transition. Struggle bus today. All right, so that was tip number 2. Resize the box if you do not have an appropriate size box. Okay. Tip number 3, use ECT boxes for first class. What are ECT boxes, do you ask? This is the portion, I think, of the video that people don't know a lot about. Okay, so when you buy boxes, there are 2 types of measurement systems they use on boxes to gauge how much weight can go in these boxes and how much stress and strain that these can take, right? So maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you had no idea. But on the bottom of each box is this little symbol, all right? Okay. Can you see that little round symbol there? Wow, that's a bad... that's better. Okay, so on the bottom of the boxes, there is this little round symbol, and you probably never noticed it, but if you take a look and you look at the boxes that you have, you'll see this little circle, right? And this is how they measure boxes as far as, how much weight these things can handle. So there are actually 2 types of measurement systems used to measure boxes. One is called a burst test, which that's what this box is. You could see it probably about second or third row from the top there. But it's called a burst test. And the other sort of measurement is called an edge crush test. And an edge crush test is different. Let me tell you the difference between the 2. Okay, so a burst test is basically how much weight can the box hold before it actually bursts. It actually physically rips. Now, we're not talking about the tape ripping on the bottom of the box. We're talking about the actual box ripping itself. So in a burst test, there is a certain amount of corrugated paper material that has to go into a box to qualify to do the burst test. So there's a minimum amount of material that has to go into it. So let's say you could eliminate a lot of that material. Let's say you could eliminate the little, wavy corrugated cardboard, that's in the edges of it that's maybe too thick. Maybe you could reduce some on the outside, making it thinner, that sort of stuff. So if you're able to do that sort of thing, then you actually have to move on to a different test. You have to move on to an edge crush test, which is ECT. So in an edge crush test, they don't have those requirements that a burst test has. An edge crush test is basically what they're testing is they're not testing how much junk you can put in the box with ripping it. They're testing how much weight you can actually put on top of the box before it crushes. So that's an edge crush test. So like I said, the difference is edge crush test, you don't need to put all that extra material in the box. So it's thinner boxes. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but let me try and zoom in on it. Okay, I'm gonna bring it in. All right, so this is an ECT box. Now, it's probably kind of hard to see, but this is an edge crush box. And can you see them side by side? This top one here, see how much thinner it is? So this top is actually from the post office. This is an ECT box. Now you can order ECT boxes. You can order them on Uline, you can order them online, stuff like that. You just have to type in ECT. And so that is tip number 3, is use an ECT box. If you use an ECT box, it's thinner, it's less weight. You're gonna lose an ounce or 2 maybe on your actual box. And that's gonna actually save you a lot of money, and it's gonna help keep things in priority. So that is one thing that I think most people don't know, is that there's literally 2 types of boxes out there. And then to further complicate the issue, there is 1-wall and 2-wall boxes. You can definitely tell the difference between a 1-wall and a 2-wall box. A 2-wall box is like carrying books. So that you don't really have to worry about. Just 1-wall, ECT, and you should be good to go. So keep those on hand. So that is tip number 3. All right, so tip number 4, cut off some of the flaps after you resize the box. So trim down those flaps a little bit. Don't overlap them. Even though you're sizing down the box, you're still keeping all the material. So the advantage of sizing down the box is that you're losing some material. So after you size it down and those flaps overlap, you want to trim them up. So you're actually taking some of the material out of the box. So that seems like kind of a no-brainer, but a lot of people will size boxes down and they don't realize they're actually keeping a lot of the material so it's the same material, they've just made it smaller. So definitely trim off those flaps, and that will actually save you a little weight too. Tip number 5, and the last and final tip for this, is don't use paper to stuff your boxes. So don't use crushed newspaper or craft paper or anything like that if you're talking about trying to get boxes under that 16-ounce mark. That all adds weight. So what I would do is I would use air pillows. And air pillows are these things. I'll grab them for you. All right, so these are air pillows. They are exactly as described. They are full of air. You can rip them off. You can put them, you can just use one at a time if you want to. But yeah, they're just air pillows. And they are made of air. So quite descriptive. But yeah, so I would use air pillows. So now whether you're reusing them from an Amazon box, or you actually buy an air pillow machine, or you order some stuff from Uline and it comes packaged with the air pillows, I would use those instead of the crushed paper. And like I said, it will save you on weight, it will save you on all kinds of stuff, and it's good. No, it's what I use. And now I have an air pillow machine, and the air pillow machine is actually awesome. Like I totally love it. It was totally worth the investment. Now it's a little bit more money, to spring for, and it's kind of when you're first starting off in this sort of stuff, it seems like kind of a big investment, and so I totally get it. But it's worth it. If you ever get to the point where you can buy one of these air pillow machines, it is worth it. The amount of money that it saves you in the long run and over time is absolutely worth the price. It doesn't seem like it at first, but these air pillows will protect your stuff, not add hardly any weight at all, and it will actually help create some rigidity in the box, and especially with the ECT boxes and stuff like that, it will help keep it, robust and not saggy. All right, so those are 5 tips there for you. I hope that was 5 and I didn't blow it and skip one and call tip 3 or 4 and whatever, or 2 or 3 or whatever. But those are the tips, and those are the things that I do. And so hopefully that helps you out in the whole first class world. And as you know, every ounce counts. All right, guys, clicky, like, subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel, and help me out with some topics, man. I'm trying to think of what you guys would like me to talk about. All right, thanks. Bye.